Hey everybody. So we're going live on two things right now: Facebook and our Mel. Let's see what we're going on.
We'll be on 239 Get Social, Dan the Messenger, and Hope for Humanity 2020.
Okay, and we're going on Skype as well. So there's a Skype link that if you guys want to join this tonight, there's a reason why, a very big reason why I'm doing this. Okay. I've been talking about this drug for a while called Ivermectin. You can see it as clear as day. I'm going to show you guys, by the way, as well. I'm going to show you guys not just what I'm talking about, I'm going to share videos from doctors. I'm going to share things with you guys that will make more sense of this, because last night it was about my 30-day mark again, or 40-day mark from when I was back in the hospital, and I was about to go back in again. And my head was splitting so bad. It wasn't a migraine, it was a migraine times 100. Like I felt like I was having a little stroke. And the pain was so bad, tears and the confusion was killing me. And literally, I thought I was going to go back to the hospital again today. If it wasn't for this, if I did not have this in my house, I promise you I'd be back in the hospital. I promise you. So when I play a news story and I show you guys some information on drugs I've been taking that has been keeping me here, and you guys don't understand why I'm taking these drugs, it's because I'm trying to live. Okay? I'm fighting a battle. I'm fighting a battle that is killing me every day. Every day it's slowly taking me out little by little. And if you are so cold and so selfish that all you think you can do is put your head in the sand, go ahead. I've been doing this for months now. I've been sharing all these drugs for months. And when you guys start getting sick and sicker because you don't know what the fuck's going on with you, and when you come to this page, and you come to our website, hope4humanity2020.org, and all the information's there, you'll know that I've been serious the entire fucking time. I got no more games for anybody. I got no more time. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be here. Well, what does that mean, Dan? I really don't. I got this when I was in the hospital last July, when I had surgery last July. July. If it wasn't for them filling me up with antibiotics and me having an attack of gout in the hospital and having Indomethican and getting prednisone injected directly into my leg, I wouldn't be here. And then I started having TBI and worse issues over a period of time. Everything has been documented. Mel, you got yourself on the main screen. You might want to put me on. All you got to do is just click on me. All you have to do is click on my picture. Mel. There we go. I got it. So, you guys, friends of mine, since last July, you knew about my accident. I shattered my tibial plateau. I was killed in a car accident. I came back about 5 seconds after I was gone. I'm not making this up. You guys have been following me since day one. What I didn't understand was I caught the virus while I was in the hospital and I had surgery on my leg. Okay? They cracked my leg open. I had a tibial plateau surgery. I shattered in 3 places. I was fevering. I was tachycardic. I was having memory issues. I was having taste and smell issues in the hospital. Why didn't you remember this now? Because I've been dealing with brain fog, a TBI. I've been dealing with so many things since this that I had no idea what the fuck was going on with me. It wasn't until March when I lost my friend DJ Griff Gotti, and then 2 weeks later when I got sick a final time, that I almost died again. And I monitored and I shared everything. Mel will back it up. I mean, there's a ton of you that were watching me that were going through this. I showed you my pulse oximeter. It dropped down. It was staying in the 80s, low 80s. I've done internal damage to my lungs, my heart, my kidneys. I'm so messed up. I don't even know how I get through every day. Now, I'm fighting an insurance company, Amerisafe. I'm fighting these pricks right here. Okay? This is the company I'm fighting. Okay? I've been fighting them since last September. Not knowing what was going on, not knowing that I was having all these issues, and trying to get my brain from all the brain fog, what they call long hauler syndrome now, trying to figure out what in the fuck was going on with me. And just by the grace of God, excuse me, I'm mad tonight because yet again, I almost died. I mean, literally, it felt like I was hours from dying last night because my brain was so messed up. My friend Marky DuBois, he is not only a long hauler as well, but he is actually part of the charity as an ambassador. Anything happens to me, he's taking over. He's going to run my spot. He's a long hauler. I got friends like Shelby Hedgecock, who's been on every news media you can possibly think of. I've got friends like Dr. Marjorie Roberts, who's a long hauler. Both of these people are long haulers. 2 millennials I got that are long haulers, that are suffering like me, that go into the hospital, don't have any medical background like me, and are saying what in the fuck is going on because they're treated like they're being gaslighted. They're being treated like they're idiots. They're being treated like they don't know what the fuck is going on when they are suffering. I mean suffering, people. It is painful. I've been suffering now for a year and a month. Does it look like I'm having a good time? I'm going to show you something that saved my life. It's called Ivermectin. Now, don't listen to me. Don't believe me. I'm about to blow this wide open because I'm over it. Now, this is a news story that was done, I don't know, a month ago, 2 months ago. I've got videos for days. I've got information, documentation about every drug that is available out there. It will be on hope4humanity2020.org. If you want to donate and help us with the cause, please do. I'm broke. The insurance company has taken all my money and not paying me because they're trying to play games when all I'm trying to do is survive. I've been suffering. People like Marcus and Dr. Marjorie Roberts and Shelby Hedgecock have been on the news, and Chris Cuomo. This is no joke to us. Chris Cuomo, like, I have to drink, not one, I have to drink 2 different types of coffee just to get up for this. Not because I want to, but because I'm tired, I'm exhausted, and every long hauler out there is fucking tired and exhausted from you guys playing fucking games. The government is playing fucking games with us. They're not telling us the truth, they're lying, and they need to stop the bullshit. I don't care who this is. I don't care what the president is. I don't care if it's Mickey Mouse. This is fucking real. People are dying daily from this. People are suffering daily from this. This is not a game. So I want you to listen to this news report I'm about to play. And it's going to blow the doors wide off of medications that are out there that you can take that can keep you from suffering. And Marcus DuBois will tell you just 2 of the things I did for him yesterday that were automatically helping long haulers. That if they would have fucking known about this, they wouldn't be suffering as bad. I'm gonna have Marcus come on damn it. This is part of the reason why I've been having such a hard time today. My brain is shot. This is not a joke. This is not, I want my life back as much as you guys do. I want to get off the train. I don't want to be in the Matrix any longer either. I want to go back to when I had a good job and I wasn't stressed out and my brain wasn't killing me and my body wasn't killing me every single day. That's what I want. But unfortunately, it's not happening. And I've been sharing for months, I mean months with you guys. And instead of you guys reaching out and saying, what can I do to help you, my brother? You've turned your back on me, which is fine. I get it. Long haulers understand. Bianca's in there in my room right now. I guarantee you she's a long hauler that she's been suffering. I've got long haulers for days. We're not crazy. I'm not crazy. I'm going to show you something. Let's see. You see those hospital bands up there? All right, I don't just collect those because I want to. It's because I've been in the hospital 5 fucking times. And every time I've been in, someone who has an ALS medical background, who understands pharmacology, anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, backwards and forwards, and watching them put me on a machine where my blood pressure was 180 over 130 and my heart rate was 130, and they treated me like a fucking idiot trying to send me home. I should have stroked the fuck out. Told me don't come back until I can't absolutely breathe on my own because fuck it, less than 20% of the people are coming off ventilators. That's what I was told. I understood the machines. Oh yeah, my O2 saturation was 98%. That's why they sent me home. So I went and bought a pulse oximeter. I went and started monitoring it. And over the 10th to the 13th days when it started coming down, meaning my O2 saturation was dropping. Oh, I shared this video way back in Easter. If you guys don't believe me, go to my Facebook, YouTube page. All you gotta do is go down my fucking page. I'm done playing games, people. You guys don't want to take it seriously? That's fine. You want to act like assholes and act like you don't know me anymore? That's fine. I put plenty of money in your guys' pockets over the last 20 years. You guys can go fuck off. And twice on Sunday for all I give a shit. Because you're scared, you're bargaining, and you're trying to get yourself out of this. It's not going to happen. We're in the real shit. This is a pandemic. It's not a joke. They didn't just say it's a pandemic because, oh, they felt like it. They said it's a pandemic because it's fucking real. Now, I want you to listen to this because it's not being played on any American fucking news organization. Zero. And when I show this to my friends, they get so mad. They're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah, I know. But Facebook won't allow me to share it because God only knows why. And then every time I listen to these media guys say they don't know any medications out there, it fucking flames me up even more. So, here we go, Mel. Tell me if you can hear it. Oh, come on.
Doctors could soon have a new...
Hold on. This is months old. This is not new, okay? This will be on my website.
In their
Hold on.
for the fight. Doctors could soon have a new tool in their arsenal for the fight against coronavirus. One America's Pearson Sharp has warned the medicine that researchers in Australia say could cure the virus in just 48 hours.
The fight against coronavirus could have a powerful new weapon. It's called Ivermectin. News out of Australia has revealed doctors are now successfully using the drug to treat patients infected with the coronavirus, with one doctor saying it makes corona very simple to kill. So far, the medicine hasn't been widely used against the coronavirus specifically, but is typically used for parasitic infections. However, a peer-reviewed study led by Monash University back in April found that even a single dose of the drug could kill the coronavirus in less than 48 hours. Ivermectin is well established and has been available since the 1970s. It's FDA approved and is on the World Health Organization's list of essential medicines. That means it has very few side effects and is considered one of the safest drugs in the world. In fact, in 2011, a scientific journal in Japan, where the medicine is originally from, called ivermectin a wonder drug, on the same level as penicillin and aspirin. And it's not only potent, it's also very inexpensive. The wholesale cost for a course of treatment is just 12 cents, meaning it's a safe and widely available treatment for the coronavirus. Australian doctor and Professor Thomas Borody is spearheading efforts to raise awareness for the drug's effectiveness.
It's an anti-parasitic. It sits across South America, quite a bit in the USA, also India and Bangladesh. And in those places where trials between 80 and 160 patients were done, the amazing and surprising thing is there's not one paper where it was successful less than 100%. That is the actual factual result. It is curative within 6 to 8 days.
He says when used in combination with two other drugs, an antiviral called doxycycline and zinc, that ivermectin is amazingly effective in treating the coronavirus. The medicine works by allowing healthy cells to quickly remove the virus, preventing it from taking hold. Dr. Borody adds that countless doctors and frontline workers around the world, including himself, are already taking this treatment as a preventative against the coronavirus.
If we use a preventative combination of ivermectin every, say, 2 weeks, it would work like a vaccine, but it would not only cure, vaccine doesn't cure, and prevent recurrence as long as you took it for 1 year, 2 years.
Even doctors in the U.S. are having success with the drug. Doctors in Broward County, Florida, say they're already curing coronavirus patients with ivermectin and seeing a near 100% success rate.
If we get to those people early, and what I mean by that, if their oxygen requirements are less than 50%, I've had nearly a 100% response rate. They all improve.
Patients using the medicine are claiming it saved their lives.
And I'm blessed with that medicine. I didn't know what was going to happen. It saved my life. Trust me, it saved my life.
It's not clear how other medical experts in the U.S. will respond to this latest discovery. But with options like hydroxychloroquine and now ivermectin on the table, many say Democrats' refusal to make these medicines available is no different than murdering the patients who need them but can't get them. Pearson Sharp, One America News.
Okay, guys, look what I got in my hands. I've had it. I've had this. Okay? Oh, let me show you the other one that saved my life. Indomethican. Okay? Indomethican. I've had it. I've been sharing it for months. All you got to do is Google Indomethican and coronavirus, and when you see it pulls up back in 2006 on a .gov medical website that they already researched this, you guys got to start fucking listening. I'm upset.
Does it help when you're a long hauler already?
It does. It absolutely does, because part of the issue with this is you have to take it every 2 weeks. I forgot to take it because of the brain fog. I've been getting treatment for it with my doctors. They've been monitoring me since the hospital, since the virus.
I didn't understand.
Shut up, Siri.
So your doctor allows the treatment with it?
Yes.
How did you find a doctor who is willing to treat you with it?
Because I have one of the best doctors on the planet, Dr. Hume. Dr. Daniel
well, they
Hume.
say Broward County, they're using it. I live in Broward County, so...
And have you heard about it?
I haven't heard... The only person I heard about it from was my friend in Hawaii, who talked about it months ago, and no one ever, said anything about it.
Exactly. Now, Marky the boy, can you talk, Mark? Can you talk for a second? Mark? Okay. I shared... Mark is a long hauler as well, Bianca. All right, and yesterday we spent 2 days together, and I was showing around what I was doing, and then I sent him an email. And Mark, what did I send you in that email? Just quickly, like a couple little bullet points. Can you hear me, Mark?
Yeah, I can hear you. It was just basic medicines and the list of medications that were available that they have yet to show.
Now, were they just Google documents, or were they actual legal documents from medical societies?
Legal documents, official reports, things that doctors know that they're refusing to let us know about.
I've had it for months, Mark. And if you go down my Facebook page, if you go down it, I've been sharing it for months. And
how has it helped you?
I'm here, Mark. Tell her how I was the last 2 days.
He's here.
Like,
He's been going at it.
and as a long hauler, Mark,
To be honest with you.
Mark, as a long hauler, do you believe I'm a long hauler?
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I created the charity back in May, not because it was for me. I'm not doing the Dan the Messenger show for me. I'm doing it for you guys. I'm trying to help. I'm trying to help. And it seems to be, no matter how hard I'm trying, that most people just want to put their head in the fucking sand and act like assholes. And that's just the truth of the matter. Bianca, I'm sorry if I'm cussing tonight, but I'm just...
No, it's okay. I don't know your story, but I'm glad to, have you sharing some stuff. The only thing I worry about is, long-term stuff. Is it just to prevent further stuff from happening, or it can, if the damage is already there?
So let me break this down to you. I was in an accident July 24th last year. I was killed in a car accident. I came back. I had to have my whole right leg rebuilt, and that's when I got it. I got the virus while I was in the hospital, while I had surgery, when my leg was cut wide open. So instead of the normal way of getting it, I got it through direct blood, right into my bloodstream. And while I was in the hospital, they gave me a huge dose of antibiotics. I had an attack of gout. And if I didn't have the attack of gout, I wouldn't got a drug called Indomethican, which is... Shit. It's this drug right here. I've literally shared. I know you can't see it.
Yeah.
But on my Facebook page, I can, and they can see it. It's called Indomethican. Okay, if you Google Indomethican and coronavirus, watch what pops up. That's what saved my life the second time. While I was in rehab, I was in the hospital for 3 weeks. By the way, only a few people came to the hospital to visit me, which was pretty sad. And the company I worked for, not anybody except the lawyer came and visited me. And I'm fighting them right now because I haven't been able to work at all. Well, you can talk, that doesn't mean I can work. Anybody who has long hauler syndrome knows how fucking hard it is just to get through the day, let alone breathe, let alone think, let alone be able to get through a day without being in pain of some way. And if I'm making this up, God strike me dead right fucking now. If I'm lying...
I'm dealing with the same thing with my job now, and I'm actually a nurse.
Oh, you're a nurse. There you go. Bianca, I'm sorry I didn't know anything about you. You just came in, and tonight was kind of like me just letting it out. I'm done. I'm done playing games.
No, I agree. It's something like the doctors just don't know about, and they're starting to, I don't know, I guess figure it out, but apparently some doctors know about it, and the word just doesn't get out enough. I don't know.
No, they don't want it out. Period.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing like you said. I was admitted twice, but then I went 2 other times, like feeling like I was having a heart attack, and they just sent me home with anxiety. And now I'm getting better, I think, but I still have lingering pains, some brain fog as well, and like a couple of palpitations here and there, and so you don't know like what.
Yeah, Bianca, can you see this right here? See that?
Yeah.
What are those?
Hold on, I can't see it.
Can you see them, Marky?
No.
Yeah.
Those are my hospital slips for every time I was in the hospital, either having a heart attack or feeling like I was having a stroke, or the right side of my brain was going to blow out of my head, or my heart being tachycardic. Or being bradycardic, it's endless. It's absolutely endless, people, what we go through. Now, you're an RN. You have a pharmacological background as well. You know A&P 1 and 2 as much as I do. So I'm going to explain something to the general audience. I have an RN on here right now that's suffering, and she's got medical ALS training. When I went to the hospital and my blood pressure was 180 over 130, and I was at 127 to 130, do you think they should have let me out of the hospital?
No.
Why? Can you tell the audience why?
They're going to say it's anxiety and all this stuff, but...
Is that normal?
No, of course it's not normal.
And is it normal for a hospital to just kick you out and tell you to go home and die, and that less than 20% of the population that comes back that gets put on a ventilator dies? Is that something normal a doctor would tell you?
Yeah, no, I agree. I had the same stuff happening to me. Hold on 1 second.
So Marky and Shelby Hedgecock and Dr. Marjorie Roberts, and I mean it's endless. Mark, we've got over 100,000 long haulers just in one group. Now we're not all going crazy. Do I look like I am crazy? I am just fighting for you guys. I'm sharing drugs with you, and you idiots just don't understand. This is real. We lost a good friend of ours, Conrad Buchanan. Several other friends of mine like Daniel Webb and Johnny Capo and Stephanie Adams, and a bunch of you in Fort Myers have been sick with this. So I'm going to break this down to you like we're in the first fucking grade. First, watch Osmosis Jones. Once you watch Osmosis Jones, then you'll understand how the body's immune system works. Totally. Okay? Chris Rock was the narrative of that, so it won't be so boring. It'll be funny, but you're also going to learn about anatomy and physiology and how things work. Because apparently most of you didn't take that class to learn basic human anatomy and physiology. I want you to Google when the last time a virus was cured. I'll wait, because it hasn't happened. And I'm going to tell you the very first coronavirus came out in 2002, morons. 2002. Why are these drugs known in 2005 and 6? Because they'd been studying it for 3 to 4 years. 3 to 4 years. Then they had triple blind studies, meaning 3 different groups of people that were studied by different doctors. Some were given placebo effects, some were given the actual medications. And then they peer-reviewed that study to find out their results. Oh yeah, chloroquine was done back then. And the website that it was published on was Fauci. So to say they know anything about treating coronavirus is fucking a lie. Second, the second one came out in 2009, H1N1. And the third one came this last year. Now, they're not telling us an accurate timeline. Why? I don't know. Why all these drugs and medications that have been FDA approved, okay? FDA approved. Hell, this one, I just showed you, and I'll play it one more time. I'll play the full video so you guys get the gist of it, since you guys are just catching up. And for all the asshole friends of mine that have turned their backs on me, that think this is a joke, this isn't. If I'm gone in a month, 2 months, a year, you guys don't come to my funeral. I don't want to hear none of the shit. I don't want to hear you guys, oh, how great a person I was. Fuck off. Because not one of you guys are reaching out to me to offer any type of help. And I've been trying to do nothing but help you guys. Period in the story. This is a virus. Google the last time one was cured. Please do, and show it to me. The first coronavirus hasn't been cured. The second one wasn't cured. This one's not going away. This one is the motherfucker of them all. This is not like any virus that we've ever had. It is bloodborne. It is airborne. Bloodborne and airborne. Wrap your minds around that. They told you it is a world pandemic, and you guys just go, oh, okay. And then you get sick, and you lose your taste, and you lose your smell. And you're like, okay, I got through it, I'm fine. Or some of you didn't get it at all. Like, you didn't have any signs or symptoms. Good for you. I prayed that no one suffers the way Marky and Dr. Marjorie Roberts and Shelby Hedgecock. I pray none of you suffer like this, because it's no fun. The Dan the Messenger Show and HopeForHumanity2020.org is to help people like me, you assholes, not you. So if you just want to keep putting your head in the sand and act like, oh, this doesn't exist, that's on you. So when you get sick, don't reach out to me. Go to the Hope for Humanity website. All the drugs are there. You can go talk to your doctor and say, what the fuck can I do? Because my friend, Dan, Rudy, has been sharing for months and nobody was listening. So now you're going to listen. You're going to hear this. Because I got friends like Marky DuBois, who's, oh yeah, he's going to be on some big shows. And has already been on 12 different national shows. It's endless. People like Shelby Hedgecock were just on CNN last night. I'm going to play this for you too, because this isn't just me talking about long hauler syndrome. Once the virus gets in your body, you might as well get a marriage certificate to it. You own it. The best offense for this is a good defense. So I'm not scaring you assholes. I'm trying to tell you how you can help yourself get through this. And all the club people, they're like, oh my God, he's trying to ruin our businesses. No. I'm trying to help you so you don't fucking die. I'm trying to help you so you can get through this. I'm trying to help you before this thing really crushes us. Now you can go burn down your streets. You can go and do whatever you want. But you all got 99 fucking problems. And the virus, I promise you, will be number one come November. Doesn't mean we're all going to have it. It's affecting all of us. And putting your heads in the sand and trying to just act like everything's going to be fine, and while you're still sick after you've had a chest cough or loss of taste or smell, it's because the virus is ravaging your body. What does that mean? It causes microthrombosis, people. Micro meaning you can't see it until it's under a microscope. Thrombosis meaning it is causing inflammation in anything that is an A2 receptor. Anything. That's your heart, your lungs, your brain, your kidneys, anything that needs oxygen, anything that needs glucose. It is attacking. That's why we have issues like urine smelling like eggs, or not be going to the bathroom, or the foggy brain syndrome, because it is wreaking havoc on our brains. Oh, well, you're crazy now. No, I'm not crazy. When you go to my website and we pull up every drug that's been FDA approved, that they've known about for 16 years, that no one seems to be fucking talking about except, oh yeah, these are all generic drugs, meaning they're cheap. They're saying there's no cure for this. There is no cure for this. But stuff like Ivermectin, okay? Ivermectin will knock the dog shit right out of it and at least keep it at bay. Stuff like cold laser therapy is helping people like Marky DuBois, where it helps take away the pain, okay? And they don't talk about this. It's incredible. They want us to suffer. They want us to die and just be gone. I do not give up. And if I go, Marcus is going to take over. If Marcus goes, we'll have 1,000 long haulers. I don't give a shit what happens. The charity Hope number 4 Humanity is to help us all get through this. I don't care if it's someone in Africa, if it's somebody in Europe, if it's somebody in Russia. If they reach out to us, we will help get them the accurate information. We will not lose any more of our friends or brothers because you guys just don't give a shit. So I'm going to play this one more time. Why am I playing it again? Because apparently some of you guys here need to hear this shit over and over to understand that it's fucking real and that people are fucking dying and that you guys are being cold, careless, and basically selfish motherfuckers. You're not going to bully me, and you sure as hell aren't going to bully my friends that are suffering. Give me a second, Mel. And I haven't showed a lot of my sources for a reason. They asked me not to. Medical doctors. Hell, there's one that's done over 100 pages. 100 pages of documentation on COVID-19. You goddamn idiots. Just turn the fucking news off. Start watching and reading your own research. This is real. So listen to this one more time. This isn't me spouting stuff off because I'm going to have another thing for you too. This isn't about me tonight. It's not about you. You watch, don't watch, I don't give a fuck. This is about all my long haulers that are suffering. This is about my buddy Marky Du Bois who was suffering. This is about my friends Shelby Hedgecock, Dr. Marjorie. It's not about you guys. So you guys can go fuck off and get off for all I care. But if you want accurate information, you come to Hope number 4 Humanity 2020.org and I'll share every goddamn medicine that's out there. Because I've reached the White House, I reached out to CNN, I reached out to Fox News, I reached out to local news. Hell, I even reached out to my friends in Fort Myers, and the fucking idiots are too stupid to even take that call. And these are people that put money in your pockets for years. So I hope you guys burn in hell. I really do. Because the same person that was doing that all these years is the same person that's talking right now. My show, Dan the Messenger, isn't about me at all. If I'm not here, Marky Du Bois is going to be taking it over. And if Marky can't, we're going to find other people too. So if you don't understand why they're doing a documentary on my story, why we did the website, it's not about me, it's to help you. I'm sorry, but I'm fired up because a lot of my friends that reached out in the beginning that helped get help, Mark, they walked away because they think they're done with it now. And Mark, can you tell me something? How long have you had this for?
June 8th.
And how old are you, Mark?
Not too long.
No, how old are you?
28.
So, you had a life before this. And what was your life? Let's just talk about this.
I mean, there wasn't nothing crazy. It was just doing stuff over social media. But yeah, it was a pretty active life.
You had a great life. Let's not be humble about this. You had a great life. You had a life of Riley. I mean, you had the life that people dream about.
It was fun.
No, it was great. I know because I did it 20 years ago. And Mark worked for Hyde Park Cafe, the Kennedy, did you say Shepherd's on the Beach, I think? Anyways, he's pretty big time in his town.
Shepherd's Beach Resort.
Yeah, Shepherd's Beach Resort. He's pretty big time in his town for social media. And when he reached out to me and we started talking and sharing his story, I'm like, this guy's me 20 years ago. Except better and smarter. More connected. And now he's being shitted on. Shitted on. From his own friends. And it's unheard of.
Doctors could soon have a new tool in their arsenal for the fight against coronavirus. One America's Pearson Sharp has warned the medicine that researchers in Australia say could cure the virus in just 48 hours.
The fight against coronavirus could have a powerful new weapon. It's called Ivermectin. News out of Australia has revealed doctors are now successfully using the drug to treat patients infected with the coronavirus, with one doctor saying it makes corona very simple to kill. So far, the medicine hasn't been widely used against the coronavirus specifically, but is typically used for parasitic infections. However, a peer-reviewed study led by Monash University back in April found that even a single dose of the drug could kill the coronavirus in less than 48 hours. Ivermectin is well established and has been available since the 1970s. It's FDA approved and is on the World Health Organization's list of essential medicines. That means it has very few side effects and is considered one of the safest drugs in the world. In fact, in 2011, a scientific journal in Japan, where the medicine is originally from, called ivermectin a wonder drug, on the same level as penicillin and aspirin. And it's not only potent, it's also very inexpensive. The wholesale cost for a course of treatment is just 12 cents, meaning it's a safe and widely available treatment for the coronavirus. Australian doctor and Professor Thomas Borody is spearheading efforts to raise awareness for the drug's effectiveness.
It's an antiparasitic. It sits across South America, quite a bit in the USA, also India and Bangladesh. And in those places where trials between 80 and 160 patients were done, the amazing and surprising thing is there's not one paper where it was successful less than 100%. That is the actual factual result. It is curative within 6 to 8 days.
He says when used in combination with two other drugs, an antiviral called doxycycline and zinc, that ivermectin is amazingly effective in treating the coronavirus. The medicine works by allowing healthy cells to quickly remove the virus, preventing it from taking hold. Dr. Borody adds that countless doctors and frontline workers around the world, including himself, are already taking this treatment as a preventative against the coronavirus.
If we use a preventative combination of ivermectin every, say, 2 weeks, it would work like a vaccine, but it would not only cure, vaccine doesn't cure, and prevent recurrence as long as you took it for 1 year, 2 years.
Even doctors in the U.S. are having success with the drug. Doctors in Broward County, Florida, say they're already curing coronavirus patients with ivermectin and seeing a near 100% success rate.
If we get to those people early, and what I mean by that, if their oxygen requirements are less than 50%, I've had nearly a 100% response rate. They all improve.
Patients using the medicine are claiming it saved their lives.
And I'm blessed with that medicine because I didn't know it was going to happen. It saved my life. Trust me, it saved my life.
It's not clear how other medical experts in the U.S. will respond to this latest discovery. But with options like hydroxychloroquine and now ivermectin on the table, many say Democrats' refusal to make these medicines available is no different than murdering the patients who need them but can't get them. Pearson Sharp, One America News.
I've been sitting on this story for months. Did I want to sit on it? No. I've been sharing you guys the information, but no one's listening. So it's about time someone does something. I started hopeforhumanity2020.org back in May because I knew what's going to happen. I am a long hauler. Now, let's talk about long hauler syndrome. Since Shelby Hitchcock was just on CNN last night, we're going to listen to that too because I'm done. I have reached out to every media organization I possibly can, and you know how many returned my call? 0. All because I'm talking about drugs and medications that can actually help you, that have been diagnosed, treated, triple-blind studied. Oh yeah, my doctors, they know about it too, and they're just as like, Dr. Roselle is like, you've shared way too much with me. How did I know all this? Because I've got friends and doctors from all over the country that reached out to me, and research groups that reached out to me after I did my first video Easter Sunday. And they're like, how in the hell did you know about Indomethican? One doctor in New York City asked me how I knew. And then Mark Du Bois got it. He's got the documentation that he sent me with every known drug that they were using to treat it. This was back in April. April, people. And everybody's acting like there's nothing out there. My producer, Sliz, who's doing the documentary in my story, has all this information. One of his friends, who's a very powerful person, is in the hospital right now in Atlanta, Georgia. I told him a few days ago I would go to take care of him. I'm out of money. The insurance company, these assholes, Amerisafe, and I want everybody to start just making Amerisafe your number one place to say you are motherfuckers for doing what you're doing to Dan the Messenger. They are doing everything in their powers. They stopped paying me. They've done all kinds of miserable things, instead of getting me help, they've fought me every step of the way. They're going to be put on blast in the documentary. The hospital, Lakewood Ranch Medical Center, you're on blast. The lawyers are coming for you. I'm not playing anymore. You guys think this is a joke? It's not. You guys that want to ignore this and put your head in the sand and say, oh wow, this is crazy. No, it's not crazy, it's reality. But somewhere, somehow, you guys got so fucking selfish that you only care about yourselves and you're only worried about likes and selfies and shares, and you want back in the matrix so bad you're not listening to people who actually are trying to help. Instead, you want to turn your back on them. Friends turn their backs on me that I gave jobs to. I mean lots of money and jobs over the years. That I would give you the shirt off my fucking back. Radio stations that I spent, I don't know, a couple $1 million with over a 10-year period that won't even return my call. It's just hilarious. AJ Laurie took me off his friends list because I was sharing the truth. Alright, Beasley Broadcasting, you're on blast too. The only station that did reach out to me with real love was 97.7, and that was Scrap Jackson. So Fly 97, when we do the event in Fort Myers, your radio station is it. No one else is getting on board this train. All the rock stations I dealt business with and backstage crap that just ignored me, you guys can kiss my ass too. So now we're going to talk about long hauler syndrome. What is long hauler syndrome? And let's hear other people talk about it besides me.
All right, now, some of us who have tested positive for coronavirus, symptoms go away. Some are very mild. Now, for some of those people, then something comes back. Then even though they didn't have bad things in the beginning, they started to develop things later on. Maybe related, maybe not. Then you have another group. And I've been reluctant to discuss this with you guys because enough about me and the COVID. So many people have it. But I am in this other group, okay? And you're going to meet my friend Shelby Hedgecock, who is in my group as well, where we got sick and it's not really going away. This is more true for Shelby than it is for me. Again, I am one of the lucky ones, and I ain't that lucky, okay? For me, it's depression. My body isn't recovering the way it did. I'm having problems with my blood levels. Now, I do have a lot of antibodies, and Sanjay Gupta and I are going to show you how to donate plasma if you have them, and I'm fit as a fiddle for that purpose. But my head's not right, my body's not right, my lungs aren't right. Shelby was tested several times, then came back positive in April, negative a couple of times in May, positive again at the end of May. Why? Look, testing is not 100%, and there's something called viral load. You know, even though you may feel one way, you may have a certain amount of virus in the system, it can trigger the testing. As we approach September, Shelby continues to live with everything from loss of smell to lack of feeling in her legs. She joins me tonight along with Dr. William Lee. Okay. Now, I met William Lee through another friend who's dealing with long haul, and he has been studying people like Shelby and me to figure out what's going on, and he sees something that's not being discussed. First, Shelby, good to see you. Thank you so much for reaching out and keeping me in the loop with stuff that is not exactly comfortable to talk about. But what do you want people to know about your experience?
Thank you for having me again, Chris, and I hate that you're still dealing with it as well. I mean, I'm going on month 5, and I'm still dealing with neurological issues, cognitive issues. I was back in the hospital about 3 weeks ago, and I had to wear a heart monitor for 2 weeks because my pulse skyrocketed to about 150 beats per minute. It stayed that way for about 45 minutes, and I've been having weird shortness of breath since then, chest pain. And guys, I mean, people are having real serious issues, very, very serious issues. I mean, I was a personal trainer before this, and I can't even do gentle yoga without being in bed with horrible body aches and pains for days after, and it's debilitating. We're seeing very severe issues. I mean, every organ system is affected, and it's very, very scary.
So, Shelby, Dr. Lee is listening. You can't see him. You can't see Dr. Lee, but he's listening to you, and he's nodding his head. Yes, yes, because in talking with him, you know, I guess we take, the word commiserate. People, misery loves company. It is good to know that you're not alone, but it's sad for everybody who's dealing with it, of course. Now, Dr. Lee, when I spoke to you and I was telling you the kinds of symptoms I was hearing about, you said yes. And part of the reason that the scientific community is surprised, as you have deduced to this point, is that it was seen as just a lung virus. But now you see it as something else that is starting to make more sense to you in terms of what you're hearing from people like Shelby. Explain.
Well, when the pandemic hit and we started to take a notice of the lung aspects of the coronavirus, everybody was focused just on the breathing. But one of the things we started to notice that was really curious is the COVID toe, the brain syndrome, the strokes, the heart attack-like syndromes that turned out not to be a heart attack. And so one of the things that now needs to be discussed, because we're seeing it far beyond the acute COVID syndrome, is the long-term syndromes that are surfacing everywhere. And this is a conversation that needs to be had in the medical and the research community, and not just in the sufferers who are actually dealing with it. And one of the things that we did in my group is we started to take a deep dive to find out what was happening that could connect all these apparently unconnected symptoms and syndromes. And it turns out it may be blood vessels that the coronavirus is infecting, which then, of course, connect it everywhere in the body.
So what does a Shelby do about this? Because everybody who goes to the doctor is told time.
Well, this is clearly not, sort of the average post-viral syndrome, and there's a lot we don't understand about it. So, I think what's really humbling to those of us in medical research and in clinical care is when we confront something we just don't know enough about. But we need to take it seriously, and we need to have the humility to recognize that we're just starting to observe and collect the data right now. Now, what I'm trying to do is to connect the dots, because we've actually seen the virus infecting the lining of the blood vessels, the endothelial cells, the cells getting inflamed, and then actually carrying that into blood clots that can rage across the body from the lungs to the heart and elsewhere. So we think that this long-term damage may in part be due to vascular damage. It's kind of a footprint that the virus leaves, even when it's gone from the body. Now, what's interesting about the heart is that just a couple of weeks ago, there were two studies out of Frankfurt, Germany, one of which looked at 100 patients with COVID recovered, including people that weren't even in a hospital. And they all had chest pain, and they actually had cardiac imaging done to look at their heart, because these patients had fluttering, as you said, Shelby. And what they found was really amazing. 78% actually had some evidence of long-term heart impact. So that would be a depressed pumping ability. It could be fluid around the heart. And so one of the things we started to realize is that this is real, and we can't write it off. And even in the brain, we're beginning to sort of conceptualize that the blood vessels may also play a role there.
Well, look, Shelby's listening to you, and she's like, yeah, great. Listen, it could be, Shelby, it could be. And a lot of this is attitude right now. Shelby was teasing with me. She's like, don't give me short shrift on this segment. I have my hair done for you. At least we can have you've seen the pictures of people sending you all their hair, right, Shelby, from all this hair loss, especially women. And look, God forbid, the worst thing that happens to you is that you lose some hair and it comes back. You got lucky, but you've noticed there's a whole community out there, Shelby, right?
Right. And I'm a part of a couple different groups. I mean, we have the long haul COVID fighters, we have Survivor Corps, and with Survivor Corps, I mean, we're really doing a lot of research. We're actually conducting a survey right now that is actually looking into the longevity of symptoms. And we're just now seeing some of the numbers come in, and it's terrifying. And as you were saying, this is a conversation that just is not happening. And if we look at 1 in 3 people that are having these long-term complications, 6 million people have coronavirus in the United States. That's 2 million people. That doesn't even account for the people that didn't get a positive COVID test. So this is going to be a public health debacle that's going to last for decades to come, and it needs to be a conversation that keeps on happening. So we just need to keep talking about it, and I greatly appreciate your time today, Doctor. bringing that up, that definitely gives us some insight. I know a lot of long haulers are watching, so.
Right, and unfortunately, there are too many of them. And look, of course, for the long haulers, they have the best thing in me you can ask for with the media, which is joint purpose. Sometimes we cover things too much, then we move away and we don't care anymore. Or not that we don't care, but the audience gets compassion fatigue and we move on. I can't have that happen, Dr. Lee, because I support the work that you're doing. I know it's going to lead somewhere good for people, and it's going to be on the back of people like Shelby Hedgecock, who's being honest with you and talking about what's going on and living it in real time, because I just know I'm one of the lucky ones, and I am nowhere near where I was before I had this. I'm lucky I'm here. But, Doctor,
Chris,
go ahead. Last word to you.
Yeah. This is one of the things that I think that having this conversation tonight is the beginning of actually being able to solve this crisis. And you're somebody who has such reserve and capacity to be able to communicate. I think one of the things that you need to be able to do is to be absolutely candid with your audience and listeners, and to encourage people not to hold back, but to really put it out there, and so that everybody will start to listen. I mean, this is really how it starts to solve problems.
I agree with you. This is tricky. And Shelby has said the same thing, but I have to tell you, this is what I've learned. Turns out that when you say that you have brain fog and depression that doesn't go away, it doesn't exactly excite your audience. And a lot of people weaponize it and say, I knew it was crazy. Because we have all these stigmas about mental health and everything else, and if I told people, hey, my elbow is swollen, which is true, just out of nowhere, my elbow was swollen, they'd be like, oh, wow, that sucks, that COVID, that's scary. But if you tell them, I got brain fog, or my emotions aren't monitoring the way they usually do, now it's, well, there's something weird about you. So we're working through it. I will err on the side of candor, as always. Shelby, I'll be in touch. Keep me in the loop. Let the community know I can be a conduit for what's going on. And Dr. Lee, as always, if there's anything I can do to help, thank you for helping us.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, God bless you both. I'll be talking to both of you.
Okay, guys, so now I'm not crazy. You got someone who's governor of New York's brother who's telling you this shit is real. Do you think he's trying to blow up his career? He's rich. Do you think he gives a shit trying to get audience members to tell the truth about what he's going through? No. Shelby Hedgecock of COVID X Now is the ambassador, and Marky DuBois, the ambassador for one of our ambassadors for Hope number 4 Humanity2020.org. We're not fucking around with you. This is real. If you had loss of taste and smell, and you had a cold, and you got sick, and it's still kicking your ass months later, you probably have the fucking virus. It's a virus. It connects to your ACE2 receptors. What does that mean? Your ACE2 receptors go around anywhere in your body. You have 60,000 miles of arteries and veins. It's 10,000 times smaller than your blood vessel. It jumps a ride on your blood vessel, which exchanges oxygen and glucose throughout your entire fucking body. That's how you survive. Once it attacks, it causes massive inflammation, because the little bastards multiply so fast it becomes millions. Now, the drug that helps this, and good God, for all the long haulers that keep asking me, all you have to do is go to Hope number 4 Humanity2020.org, and I promise you I'm going to have every bit of information that has been out there on .gov medical websites since 2005 and 6. I have medical doctors that will be coming on the show to talk about this. Lakewood Ranch Medical Center, you're in trouble. I got this virus while I was there, and whatever you're hiding, I'm going to find out. Chris Cuomo, please call me. I've got doctors for days. Please call me. Get me on your show as a long hauler. I've got stuff to really blow the doors off of this. My very first video, I was talking about how Indomethican was one of the things that kept me from dying. I lost my friend Conrad Buchanan, who I gave one of his first gigs in Fort Myers, Florida as a DJ to. This is personal to me. I am going through it. I've lost weight. I'm not trying to lose weight. I've had brain fog since last year. I've had a TBI. I'm dealing with so much. And Marky DuBois, who will be on tomorrow night's show, and so will Shelby Hedgecock, and so will Dr. Marjorie Roberts. We're going to talk as long haulers more about this. But if you guys want to keep putting your head in the sand and acting like this is going away, It's not. You can turn me off. I'm good with that. I only care about the long haulers. I care about the people that are suffering. Now, if you want information and you think you might have it, well, go to my website, hope4humanity2020.org.com.info. I think the .com's up, not the .org. Make a donation. We need help. I'm trying to help you guys. Instead of the friends that are questioning me and turning their backs on me, good. Fuck off. Goodbye. The rats are the first ones to jump off the ship. Market Boy knows that. The real motherfuckers that are going through this will run through this till we die because we know what we're going through, not because we're out of our mind. Chris Cuomo said the same thing. People think you're crazy when you say you're having brain fog. No. It's inflammation in your brain causing all kinds of fun things. And if it wasn't for this drug today, I'd probably be right back in the hospital because my head felt like it was going to explode less than 24 hours ago. I was so bad off, I couldn't even get out of my bed. And then I remembered, oh yeah, you got this stuff called Ivermectin, asshole. Take a dose of it. But my brain fog was so bad, I couldn't think clearly. I've had this in my house. I've had all these I've had medical documentation for months. I've been sharing with you guys for months on .gov medical websites and their actual medical records. And for every one of the news organizations that say they don't know, well, what the fuck do you have a research department for? All you got to do is Google. Google Ivermectin, coronavirus, and see what pops up. Google. Google this shit. Indomethican, okay? And coronavirus. And when you see what pops up, oh, you know what? I'm not even going to ask you to Google. I'm going to do you some favors. Since we're so lazy these days, and we're so, like, into ourselves and likes and selfies and shares, I'm going to do it for you. And watch this. Let's watch how easy this is. Indomethican coronavirus. This is what saved me the night I was fucking dying. Okay, I want you to look at this. Look at that. Indomethican. Okay? Look at what year that came off of. 2006. You guys don't want to hear this. That's fine. When you're dying from it, you're going to be dying to know where to get the stuff from. Okay? When you can't breathe and it feels like fire's coming in. Oh yeah, how did I survive? I have a really cool doctor that knows what the hell's going on. I begged him for hydroxychloroquine. I begged him for it. I was on antibiotics. I was on an albuterol nebulizer. And all it was doing was slowing this virus down. Just slowing it down. It wasn't until I happened to turn the TV on, just by chance, at 1 o'clock in the morning on that Saturday, that a doctor was talking about hydroxychloroquine, and I was pissed off. Oh, I was so pissed off because I begged my doctor for it, and he told me the FDA will not allow it. An FDA-approved medical medication was not allowed for off-label use, so I was dying. And then I see this doctor come on TV as my O2 saturation is 80% and my lungs are on fire. I'm fucking hours away from dying. And this doctor says, I've been treating patients with hydroxychloroquine that have rheumatoid arthritis and lupus and never seen the side effects they're talking about. And then they mentioned she mentioned the doctor, somehow gout. I've had gout since I was 30 years old. 30 years old. And I've never been prescribed hydroxychloroquine. So all I did was Google Indomethican and coronavirus. And I could not fucking believe in March, that from 2006, they knew very specifically Indomethican has a potent antiviral activity against SARS. 2006. Well, how in the hell, this is SARS-CoV-2. So the same family. Oh yeah, it's a cold. No. This is a specific virus. It's from pubmed.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. 2006. I told you the first coronavirus came out in 2002. What the hell do you think they were doing for 3 years? They were researching it and trying to figure out what the fuck to do with it. Indomethican has a potent antiviral activity against SARS coronavirus. It's in black and white. Oh yeah, Dan shared this on the Dan the Messenger page, on my Instagram page, on my Facebook page. I've shared the dog shit out of this. And you guys still want to act like assholes and ignore it? That's fine. Severe acute respiratory syndrome. That's what SARS stands for. Severe acute respiratory syndrome is a newly emerging, highly transmittable, and fatal disease caused by a previously unknown coronavirus, SARS-CoV. Existing in a non-identified animal reservoir, SARS-CoV continues to represent a threat to humans because there is no effective, specific antiviral therapy for coronavirus infections. Objectives. Starting from the observation, metabolites are active against several RNA viruses. We are investigating the effect of the COX inhibitor Indomethican on coronavirus replication. Works involving infectious SARS-CoV was performed in a biosafety level 3 facility. Biosafety level 3. That means very contagious viruses are the only shit they hold on to there. SARS-CoV was grown in monkey viral cells in human lungs, epithelial A549 cells, while canine coronavirus CCOV was grown in A72 canine cells. Antiviral bacterial activity was analyzed by terming infective virus. It gets into some really serious stuff that you guys wouldn't understand. Results. Medical laboratory documented results. Unexpectedly, we found that Indo has a potent direct antiviral activity against the coronavirus SARS-CoV and COVID. Indo does not affect coronavirus binding or entry into host cells, but acts by blocking viral RNA synthesis at cytoprotective doses. This is effective in independent inhibition. It has a 1,000-fold reduction. Okay, so what does that all mean? If you go down my videos, I promise you I've been sharing this for months. I promise you. This is not new. This isn't, look, Indomethican. I've been taking it for months. Indomethican. That's how I've been here. That is how I've been surviving. Indomethican. Indomethican. Secondly, what do I take to back that up? Okay? This happens about every 30 to 45 days, people. It takes, you have 60,000 miles of arteries and veins running through your fucking body. So this little bastard of a virus, it's so smart that it hides. When your immune system starts kicking an ass, it retreats and starts going around your body and saying, where else can I hide to fuck some shit up? Excuse me tonight, but I'm done playing. I'm done. Because you guys aren't grasping the severity of it. I don't know how much time I have. I got this while I was in the hospital when I had my surgery, and I've been fighting now for 13 months. And you guys don't seem to understand. I'm not crazy. Chris Cuomo's not crazy. Shelby Headshot's not crazy. Mark Du Bois not crazy. We are trying to help you guys. Instead, we are being gaslighted. We're being felt and treated like fucking animals. We're being told to go home and die. Well, you don't want to hear this message? That's fine. I'm not trying to scare you guys. I'm telling you what long haulers are going through. Chris Cuomo, please call me. I want to be on your show, and I want to talk as a long hauler who's been with research doctors and research groups. Please turn me off, Marky, of the notifications for that group. It's making my phone stop. I have researchers all over the world that have been working with me. There's over 140 research groups that are working on this nonstop. It is a virus. It replicates. It takes over your cells. Once it gets into a cell, it's like going into a bar with no security and saying, hey, I'm going to give you, this is my RNA factor, make me as much of this as possible. It starts making the virus over and over and over. And then once it's full, it goes, okay, motherfuckers, get out there and have some more fun. Please take me off, Mark. It keeps hitting up my DMs.
I'm taking you off, don't worry.
Just turn it off for my thing. So, do I sound like I'm crazy? Do I sound like I'm making this to be a fun ride? No, it's not. I've been on this roller coaster for 13 fucking months. You guys can have it. I pray daily to God, thank you for allowing me to be here another day so I can help spread the word. But I don't know, this thing is taking me so down so fast at times that last night I thought I was going to have a stroke and die. The pain was unbearable. I didn't take any pain medication, which I had right here. Oh, I've got pain medication if I need it. But I was afraid that this pain medication would cause one thing that we know that coronavirus does is blood clots. Chris Cuomo's talking about this. Shelby Hedgecock's talking about this. The Marky, what's your group's name? Mark? We got long haulers groups that have over 100,000 people. What's the name of the group in Florida for long haulers so I can let them know? What's it called?
Survivor Corps.
Survivor Corps is one of the groups. You created one for Florida specifically. What's the name of your group?
Florida COVID Long Haulers.
Florida COVID Long Haulers. Anybody who wants to come on the Dan the Messenger show that is a long hauler, you're welcome. Any doctor that's been fighting this long term, that knows their patients and have been using effective treatments like the Math Plus method for early treatments, or Indomethican, or Ivermectin, okay? You guys need to start stepping up. Don't let the media bully you around. Don't let your medical directors or your hospitals bully you around. If you are fighting as a nurse, as a doctor, and you're afraid, know there are drugs that are out there. There are drugs, there are medications. You go to hopeforhumanity2020.com and I'll have it all up there within the next 24 hours. Every medical documentation. It's not mine. It's medical documentation from the governments. Oh, quit making it scary. No, it's not. We are living hell, and we're not lost our minds. You know why I do this? I'm going to show you guys. I do this because I have a 26-year-old daughter, and I don't want her to suffer. And I sure as hell don't want her kids to suffer. Oh, and I just found out I would be a great uncle. My oldest niece is having a son. So I want to be around. I'm not trying to lose my fucking mind. I sure as hell didn't do this to burn up my great solar job that I had making a ton of money, that I love doing. I want back. I want off this ride too. I want out of the matrix. I want to get back to normal. Marky wants to get back to normal. Dr. Marjorie Roberts wants to get back to normal. Shelby Hedgecock wants her life back. None of us asked for this fucking ride, but we're stuck on it. And instead of friends of ours reaching out and saying, what can I do for you? You guys are turning your backs on us. It makes no sense whatsoever. I'm the same person that you've dealt with for years. I mean, I've dealt with so many radio stations and did so many events and marketing. I'm ashamed of every last one of you, especially ones that I helped. Especially the ones I helped that have just act like nothing because you guys want to get back to your lives. I get it. This is a real virus. It was called a pandemic for a reason. When I share every goddamn medical documentation I have, don't be surprised. It's going to be a lot. How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. I don't have Shaquille O'Neal's friends that are producers wanting to do a show because it's about nothing. Because it's about something. And we're going to wake this fucking country up. If we don't wake the planet up, great. But I'm not going to allow any more Americans to die from this shit when they've fucking known about these medications for 16 years on .gov medical websites. When the government acts like there's nothing going on, is telling you these are not your droids, this is not a real virus. No, they told you it's a real virus at the beginning. You guys, like assholes, listen to the media to the point where, okay, it's gone. No, it's not gone. Long haulers like myself and Marky Du Bois and Shelby Hedgecock and Dr. Marjorie Roberts are not just making this up. Chris Cuomo is not just making this up for ratings. The guy's brother is the fucking governor of New York City. Do you think he's doing it for attention? Do you think I give a shit about the attention? Most people don't know I was the majority partner in Eddie Fishbowl's. Most people don't know Cincinnati Entertainment was mine because I didn't care about it. I could give a shit less about being famous or infamous. Watching drunk people around me ask for free shots was not my goal in life. Entertaining people when they're miserable, I had no problem with that. But the rest of you guys, I mean, there's thousands upon thousands of you that I know in Fort Myers, Florida. And I'm ashamed of you guys for hiding, for not being Americans, and for actually just sitting on your hands and saying, oh, I hope it goes away. Because it's not going away. The HIV virus that came out in 1983, 84, 85, that everybody treated people like assholes and told them it was the gay disease, and just watched the millions of people die from this. This is what's going on right now, except it's a little different. It's called the COVID-19 virus. It came out of China for all we know, and every epidemiologist, virologist that studied this will tell you, microthrombosis, micro, you have to look under a microscope. That means everything you guys are doing right now in ALS medicine or emergency room medicine is shit. That's why we go in and we look like assholes. Thrombosis. White girls, you ever get wasted and hit your shin after you took your shoes off in the nightclub because you're so drunk? The next day you wake up, your entire leg's bruised up and down. That's thrombosis. That's dead blood cells. Any guy ever got punched in the face and have a black eye? That's thrombosis. On a micro level, you can't see it. It is hiding under your organs. You just heard the doctor talk about it. I am over the splinters being in my head. I pulled them out little by little. I've been trying to show you guys little by little how to get through this. You know, the saying, how you eat an elephant is one bite at a time. Well, I know I just dumped a shit ton on you tonight. Hell, I dumped a shit ton on Mark the boy the last 2 days, and he's like, holy crap. I've just given him more information that doctors don't even have. Because doctors that care from all over the world have been sharing with me since I did my first video. Research groups that pulled me in, that have virologists, epidemiologists, doctors. At first, they even question this. They're like, how the hell did Indomethican keep you here? Okay? I'm still here. Last night, this time, I thought I was really going to die. And if it wasn't for me having this right here in my house, I promise you I wouldn't be here. I promise you. Like, I was not going to go for number 6. I wasn't going to go for number 6 of all these times I've been in the hospital. Okay? This is not me just making this shit up. I lost one of them. I've been in the hospital 5 times. I probably got over $100,000 in medical bills trying to figure out what in the hell's wrong with me. And every time I went into the hospital, they treated me like an asshole. As a matter of fact, they treat every long hauler like an asshole. And I don't blame the medical field because this is so new. It's so much for them. Even they are overloaded. So when this keeps coming in waves, if you've lost your taste, your smell and your taste, if you continue to feel like you have hell, I can't even think of the word I want to say. If you feel sick continuously after that first initial period, that means I'm betting you dollars for donuts. You have the virus. And for the people who got through the first round and think, oh, it's good now, if you still keep having issues, it's because the virus does not go away. It's like the herpes virus. Once you get it, stay on board because it's going to keep happening. It's a virus. I'm not talking just to upset you guys. I'm talking because I'm trying to wake you the fuck up. When not one news organization picked up my story, I was shocked. I know Melanie's shocked. I know Melanie's shocked when I say I reached out to local friends that are on radio and they didn't even reply back. I mean, it's embarrassing for you guys. You guys should be embarrassed of yourselves. And then when you're a long hauler and you're trying to get help and your doctors are treating you like assholes, get rid of the doctor, find one that knows something, reach out to hope4humanity2020.com, and I will have all the documentation for you. I'm not a doctor, but I sure as hell know enough of them that have given me all the right stuff to keep me around here to fight. I'm not fighting for myself. I'm fighting for you guys. I'm fighting for my daughter, okay? I'm fighting for my daughter, Mackenzie. She's 26 years old. She's got a whole life in front of her. But apparently the government doesn't give a shit enough about Americans to tell the fucking truth. To say the virus came out here. It is contagious. We are working on treatments. There have been treatments out for the last 16 years. These are the generic drugs that you can get. They're like $15 a bottle that can at least give you some manageable treatments so you don't have to suffer until you fucking die. Now, Magic Johnson caught HIV in 1998. 3-4 years after the virus came out. The HIV virus. He had to retire from the NBA because nobody, I mean nobody, would fucking play with him. He's still here. How is he still here? It's because he was getting the right treatments from the right doctors and the right medications. Just because you have the virus does not mean it's a death sentence. It just means that you have the virus and that you need treatment and that you need help. It doesn't mean you're crazy. It doesn't mean that you're looking for attention. You want help. I want help. I've been getting help. I'm financially broke now. I had a job making probably $150,000, $200,000 this year that I can't go back to. I have an insurance company that's destroyed me. I've had a work employer that owes me money that hasn't paid me. I put everything I had into this charity, Hope for Humanity 2020.org, not for me, for my daughter, for my family, for my brother, my sister, my nieces, their children. I'm not standing down when I know what is right. I was always raised, no matter what, don't let people bully you. And I didn't. I never expected that I would have to be a messenger for a fucking virus that's going to take out millions of people if they don't get treatment. I never expected that I'd have to burn up an entire career that I worked my ass off just so I could try to tell you guys that you need to get help now and you need to start getting actual factual information. Today on the Message Show was not about me. Never was. It was about you guys. So I appreciate everybody who's watching. I'm going to be doing an event this coming Friday and Saturday to raise money for the charity, downtown Fort Myers at Soul of Life, because I need help. And if you guys haven't been my friends for these years and had a good time, came to my club, came to my events, the thousands of you. If you got kids now, you need to start paying attention because I don't want anything to happen to your kids. I've got a nephew, Carter. That's why Melanie's helping me, because she knows my soul and she knows I care. And I made a promise to Melanie and to Daniel Webb that I would not let anything happen to my nephew. If you guys don't know who Carter is, all you got to do is go to Daniel Webb's page and you'll see a million pictures, or Mel's page. Not let my little nephews down. Mojo Wilson and Shady Spencer, you guys have been amazing. Melanie's been amazing. My entire team behind me has been amazing. We've been trying to get this out. Not because I want attention. If I want attention, wait till you see what's going to happen in the next 30 days. Marky Du Bois is going to be tearing some shit up in Fort Myers, Florida with his crew. And when you guys see what we're going to do, don't cry. Because we're here. We're not here for anything other than raising awareness. When I opened the very first Hope for Humanity 2020.org.com office in downtown Fort Myers, when I have the treatment center, when I am sharing information, don't be surprised. Because it's the same people that told me, oh, Eddie Fishbowls and Cape Coral will never make it. That was the worst decision you ever made, Niels Richter. Or, oh, I can't get Sin City Entertainment to work. Oh yeah, I did. When I brought Don Vito with Mike Busey and David Weathers and all those people came to the event, even though the first 3 weeks prior he didn't show up because he was arrested and put in jail, Mike Busey gave his word and he brought him back 3 weeks later. Anybody who was there for it, seen an amazing time. Our Wednesday nights at MB Lounge with Omar and Ramo G and the station Tommy Rios, all of you that came out for those years know that Sin City Entertainment rocked that fucking town. I didn't care about me. I was entertaining you guys. When Rick Ross and DJ Khaled came for Omar's birthday bash, you guys have never seen anything like that again. Since. It's because I had homies like Omar and Ramo and Showtime. And, God, I can't even think of all the owners right now. Jason from D-Hop and Lucas and Michael Sullivan. Their place was hurting. I packed it out every Wednesday night. Upstairs, downstairs, outside. Not because I was doing anything special, but because you guys were having fun. Because I helped entertain you. Not because I was the guy. I spent every dime I had on that company to keep it going. And then once fish bowls took off, I spent every dime I had in that company. But I never took credit for it. I never showed all the marketing and all the background I used from Cincinnati Entertainment to blow Fish Bowls Part 2 up. I used all my resources. I gave up my Saturday night money at Fish Bowls before it was Fish Bowls, it was the W, to keep Fish Bowls going. Ed Sheridan didn't leave his job, and ask Group Street. The first 3 weeks Eddie Fish Bowls was open, he was still there. He wouldn't leave the job because he was afraid. Johnny Galanis will tell you that. I love Ed Fish. He's my brother. You guys used him when he was dying. Oh, you celebrated his life, but that's it. I did not keep him from opening another Eddie Fish Bowls. Even though I owned every bit of it, and he was a minority partner, if he wanted to open up, he could have, but not a single one of you gave that man any money to open up another one. So when I start doing stuff, I don't want to hear it. When I start the Eddie Fish Bowl Cancer Foundation, and it's going to help local bartenders or anybody who's sick in that town, I'm the one who started it. But people like, I'm sure, Bob Rossi and some of the other people that are his true friends, they'll be on the board. So don't give me no shit. I don't care. Every radio station that's turned their back on me, I'm not doing business with you. Sorry, end of story. The one that did do business with me, I will. All the rock stations, sorry. You guys had your chance. This isn't about me. Mark the boy will take this over. If I leave, Mark's got the keys to the kingdom. Kid's talented. Melanie Kopko is the VP of the charity. She's also the media relations booker. So if you're a long haul and you want to get in, get in. The insurance company that's fucking me, Amerisafe, I'm coming for you. And when I mean I'm coming for you, I'm coming for you. Okay? Amerisafe. You not fuck me over anymore. I've got all the medical documentation. I've got all my medical records. From day one. I got this when I was in the hospital. So Lakewood Ranch Medical Center, I'm coming for you too. And the company I used to work for that hasn't paid me the money they owe me, the $6,700, you better start paying. Otherwise, we'll be in court starting next week. It's not a threat. It's not blackmail. I shouldn't have to beg for commissions on jobs I sold. The water plant, I've been working for 3 years on doing a deal with the water plant to give it the first solar, what's the word I'm looking for? Solar field. To make it the very first 100% renewable water plant. I didn't do this because I wanted attention. I'd rather go right back to solar and say fuck off to this virus. I really would, but I can't. I can barely get through the day without losing my brain. By 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, my brain's gone. And then last night, I felt like I was going to have a complete stroke on the right side of my brain, which is not normal. I eat as healthy as you possibly can imagine. So if you guys are watching this, please share, please like. I am not doing anything other than trying to show you guys medications that can help reduce the inflammation, because that's what it's doing. Inflammation is what is going on in your body. If you have the virus, it's not stopping. It doesn't go away, doesn't get reinfection, it's already there. Okay? 98% of the planet's going to get through this. The other 2%, which is about 150 million people, probably going to die from it if they don't get early enough treatment. They're suffering a slow death. Look, I'm falling to skin and bones. Marcus Du Bois, skin and bones. Like, it's not fun. I'm a long hauler. I've been doing this for 13 months now. So I'm way ahead of the curve for most people. Lucky me, had an accident, died, came back, got it while I was getting surgery in the hospital, and been dealing with it for 13 months. Oh, I'm so lucky. Boy, I just love talking about it. It's my favorite thing to do. No, it's not. I would love to go back to my normal life. I would love to go back to getting my new house. I'd love to go back to just doing solar and helping the environment. I would love to be going back and working with the Florida house, with water plants, with big commercial projects. But the virus, we all have 99 problems, but the virus seems to be number one. I'm done for tonight. If you guys haven't got enough out of this, you can go to hope4humanity.com. All the information will be there in the next 24 hours. All the documentation, all the videos, all the doctors talking about it, all the research, I promise you. And for my friends that turned their backs on me in Fort Myers, Florida, I'm not mad. I know, I get it. You guys are human beings. You're selfish. You want to go back to your lives, and you want to forget about this never happened. The virus never happened. The streets aren't burning. The government is not telling us the truth. These are not your droids. The virus is not real. It's real. Have a good night. Dan the Messenger Show will be live next week in podcast, and I'll be sharing exactly which network it's on. Marky the Boy will be on tomorrow night with Shelby Hedgecock, Dr. Marjorie Roberts, and we will get through this. I might not. I'm good with it. I've had a life that most people would die to have. The amount of fun I had, the amount of people I partied with, the amount of pseudo-celebrities I met, great. If you ever question it, just go on my Facebook photos and you'll see the albums for days. Mike Busey, I've been reaching out to you, and apparently you're more worried about little things instead of the bigger things. It's fine. I don't blame anybody for wanting this to go away. I don't blame any of my friends who've been stuck with this now just wish it goes away. It's killing people. It's not a fun subject to talk about. Chris Cuomo tells you, do you think I want to talk about brain fog? Oh, he's crazy. I'm not crazy. I can have an hour conversation with you, and believe me, put me in front of any media that wants to talk about drugs and medication. You put me on and tell me about treatments that saved my life. You want my doctors on? Good, we'll get doctors on. You want medical research? I've got medical research. I didn't Google it. It was fed to me by medical professionals that researched the shit out of this. It was fed to me by doctors in the front lines that are dealing with this. You guys got to pull the thorns out of your fucking head and your asses out of your head and understand it's real. They told you this is a virus. This is a pandemic. They shut the entire globe down for a reason. 15 days to slow the spread. 30 days to slow the spread. 5 months later, the virus is still coming. Colleges are being supposedly reinfected. No. It's people who had the virus are having waves of it. I think we're at 20 million people on the planet that have had the virus. We know there are more false positives and more false negatives than actual positives. Does it mean it's fake? No. What it does mean is they're assholes, don't have their shit together, don't know anything about medical testing in the sense that the accuracy levels have been rushed. There were 36 different strains of the virus. 36 in China alone. There are different strains of it. So, when you're only testing for 3 antigens, do you really think out of 36 viruses, different known strains, that you're going to get accurate results? But I can tell you this. If you have lost your taste and your smell, and you were sick, or you continuously feel like you're sick, like your ears are getting clogged, or your nerves are being inflamed, or you're losing weight unexpectedly, or you start getting brain fog, or your hair starts falling out like crazy, okay, that can be stress related. But if you start getting exercise and you're eating right and you're seeing medical doctors and one's a neurologist and they know you're completely sane and I got the videos, and you're still dealing with this, then there's something here. And I will keep talking until my last breath because I'm trying to help you guys, because I got this beautiful daughter of mine, okay, Mackenzie. I will not let her have to deal with this bullshit. If it takes my life, fine. But at least she'll know her father stood up when no one else was. And at least she'll know that I was sharing accurate, factual information. So when someone comes on our show, we're not there to hijack them. We're here to hear their stories. We're here to share their pain. We're here to show them empathy when no one else will. Not because they're crazy, because they're fucking suffering and dying. Because doctors aren't telling them that there are medications that are out there, that have been known out there, that in other countries they're already using this. Hell, in Broward County, Florida, they're using this right now, Ivermectin. It's one of the safest drugs out there. It's on the Who's World List. And so when I hear you tell me, will it hurt me if I'm having palpitations? No, the palpitations will kill you. The medication will at least get the inflammation down. The medication can at least help you get through the day more manageable. That's the only reason why I'm still here. That's it. If I didn't have these medications, if I didn't have Ivermectin, if I didn't have Indomethican, look, my hand shakes. I can't stop my hand from shaking. If I didn't have Azithromycin, I would be gone. I wouldn't be here. And if I didn't have a medical background as a paramedic, I wouldn't have understood anything that was going on. So I'm not crazy. When I share all the when I share the information, you'll understand. I only care for you guys. Fort Myers, I got nothing but love for you. But all the radio stations that have turned their back on me, it's hilarious that I'm just trying to help. And when I reach directly out to you and you don't reply back, that's pretty shitty. When I help one of your main guys get better and then they want to feel like it's going away, that's pretty shitty. I don't care. I'll help anybody. If the devil came to me right now and said, listen, I've got the coronavirus, what can you do for me? I would say, first of all, let me give you a dose of this. Ivermectin. Second of all, you need to get you Azithromycin. And third of all, I would get Indomethican. And those three things right there will knock the shit out of it. It won't knock it away because it's a virus. The virus doesn't go away. But you can take treatments that at least help you be manageable. And I thank everybody for coming on tonight. I know it's been a little longer. Hell, it's been a few hours. But that's fine, because I don't know if I'll be here a week, a month, a year. And I pray God every day, please God, give me another day. Please give my voice the ability to share my message so we can get through this, so we can win. Not, America, the America I grew up in, my grandparents, my grandfather, who was a war hero, Chester Sharp, who fought in World War II, they would be ashamed of us. They would be ashamed that we're not Americans right now. They'd be ashamed that instead of bringing each other up, we're trying to tear each other down. They would be ashamed that our country's been attacked in a way that we can't even fathom. I guarantee you the only generation that would understand what we're going through right now is the greatest generation, my grandparents' generation. Unfortunately, they're gone. So we don't have any real leaders. We have a lot of people that are just talking shit, and they're using the media to play you like fools. I have nothing against media. I have nothing against HBO or Fox News or CNN or any of the other ones. But we've all got to understand that if the truth is not being told, you can fool all the people some of the time, some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. And when you see the silent majority, it's not talking, it's because every time they do, you try to bully them. You discredit them. You tell doctors to go fuck off that took a Hippocratic oath that is trying to help patients. You had over 24 doctors go to Washington, trying to share hydroxychloroquine, which was shared on Dr. Fauci's website in 2005. It was actually called chloroquine back then, and it was actually known to help. Oh yeah, by the way, when they first started giving doses, first of all, it was too late for the people. Second of all, they were overdosing them. 800, 1600 milligrams, not good. How do I know this? Because I got a few friends that broke everything down to me that are actual medical experts. I have recordings of all the information. I have recordings of us going back and forth and explaining it to me why I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. And instead of the company that I work for supporting me and saying, what can we do to help them, they've ignored me. Instead of having the insurance company that actually was responsible when I was in an accident to insure me and cover me, has dropped me and is fighting and starving me to death while I'm trying to get better, Amerisafe, they're all doing the wrong things. And as Americans, it's disgusting. As Americans, this is not the country I grew up in. We said the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America for a reason. We used to be proud to be Americans. Hell, everything we had back in the day was made in America. And right now we're finding out getting bicycles or basic supplies, or even our drug supply comes from other countries. So when this thing keeps coming and people realize they need medications and drugs and they can't get it, come November, I'm telling you, God saved me and put me on here for a reason, not because I want to, because I believe me, I've asked him to take me. Take me as many times as you can, because the suffering is almost unbearable. But I've been dealing with this for 13 months. Or 12 months or 13 months. So as a long hauler, I'm probably one of the longest long haulers there is out there. And for the Lakewood Ranch Medical Center, I bet you there's probably 2,000 to 20,000 people that were in that hospital that got infected from the virus. And you guys are just trying to act like nothing happened. And for all the news organizations that I reached out to, Fox and CNN and everything back in March, April, and I said, I was screaming at the lung tops, screaming, please, 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 talk about Indomethican. Please talk about Indomethican. Because it helped save my life, and nobody, 0 people replied back. To the millions of people that are sick and suffering from this, please share this, get the information out. HopeForHumanity2020.com. All the information will be there. All the links of all the doctors that have been talking and sharing about this. There are treatments available. Is it a savior? I don't know. But it does help me get through. And if it wasn't for this drug, you would not be talking to me tonight. I took this 8 hours ago. I forgot I even had it because I didn't realize you have to take it every 2 weeks to keep the virus at bay, along with Azithromycin. And I take this twice a day already. This is how I can breathe and walk, Indomethican. Otherwise, my lungs would be so destroyed, I'd be in bed like my friend Marky. So the Dan the Messenger show will continue. It'll be an alpha next week. Shady and Mojo are co-hosts of it. Gentry's helping with the overall production. And we will keep sharing the message. I have a lot to keep talking about because I care about you guys. And for everyone who's turned their back on me, I don't hate you. I don't even have any ill feelings. I'm lucky to be here. But it's a shame. You should be ashamed of yourselves for turning your back on a good friend. Someone who would give you the shirt off of his back. A lot of my family thought I was crazy. But I think they're finally coming around and realizing, no, this is real. And now that I know where I got the virus from, when I got it when in the hospital, when I was getting my surgery, when my leg was cut wide open, it makes a hell of a lot more sense why I've been dealing with it the way I've been dealing with it. Why in March I wasn't testing positive, because fuck, I already had it. It's in my bloodstream. And the strain I probably have is probably way stronger than the ones others had because it was so early. Because it mutates. Most viruses are what they call, they're symbionts. They need a host. And ideally, like the herpes virus, the idea of a virus is not to kill you. Chickenpox. You have an outbreak. You get the contagion factor, and then it goes away because your immune system knows how to deal with it. But for long haulers, and this virus in particular, it's not like most viruses. It's been genetically, whatever reason, made to keep attacking. So people who are long haulers, you're not crazy. It's causing microthrombosis in your body. It's causing havoc in your body. And the governments have not been sharing accurate information that you can actually Google. So I'm going to do this one more time so you guys go, oh my God, this guy isn't crazy. Indomethican coronavirus. That's all you got to do. You can say it in there. You don't know how to spell it. Just go Indomethican coronavirus and watch what pulls up. So the first time I seen it, it was from a 2006 article. Now, repurposing Indomethican, COVID-19 hospital healthcare, Europe hospital. June 23rd, 2020. Headlines are focused on the use of new and expensive drugs for treatment of critically ill COVID patients. But some older drugs, could hold. Wow. Hold on. I'm going to open this one up because I haven't read this one yet. Headlines are focused on the use of new and expensive drugs for treatment of critically ill COVID-19 patients. But some older drugs could hold the key to hastening recovery in mild to moderate disease and reducing the impact of disease. Indomethican has already been used in this way and now needs a formal trial. No, it doesn't need a formal trial because if I just go right back to that very first one in 2006, they've already done it. The clinical course of COVID is variable, with some patients being asymptomatic or experiencing very mild symptoms and others critically ill. There are also those in the middle, not sick enough to require hospitalization, but nevertheless experiencing significant and prolonged illness. Many people have described their experiences in blogs and on Twitter. Cough, breathlessness, chest tightness, pain on breathing in, general exhaustion, and aching all feature prominently. These are frightening experiences, especially for people who have otherwise been healthy and largely untroubled by cold, coughs, and cold. As SARS-CoV-2 began to spread around the world, thoughts turned to repurposing of existing drugs, and researchers began to trawl the literature to identify possible candidates. Indomethican coronavirus. Google it. 2006. It wasn't maybe. They had already done it for the first coronavirus in 2002. One drug of interest is indomethacin. Go to my first video. I posted it. Indomethacin is what saved my life. A drug that has both anti-inflammatory and antiviral actions. Its antiviral actions were first discovered in 2006. In the wake of the SARS-CoV outbreak, 1, it was subsequently shown to be active against SARS-CoV-2 in vitro and against canine coronavirus in vivo 2. Importantly, the antiviral effects were seen at normal anti-inflammatory doses. Primary care physicians in New York, faced with large numbers of sick patients, people who with intractable coughing, pain with inspiratory effort, have been prescribing indomethacin for them. Oh yeah, by the way, I told you, New York doctors reached out to me afterwards at the beginning in March or May, April. How in the fuck did you know about indomethacin? Oh, I got all the documentation. I got DMs. I got the doctor sending me the medications, because in New York City they weren't allowing hydroxychloroquine to be prescribed to outpatient therapy. I was the first person they seen talking about indomethacin, so they reached out to me. Primary care physicians in New York, faced with large numbers of sick patients, people with intractable coughing, pain with inspiratory effect, etc., have been prescribing indomethacin for them. They have found that it quickly stops the cough, relieves the pains, and leads to a feeling of overall well-being. Benefits that were not seen with either ibuprofen or hydroxychloroquine. On the basis of their real-world experience, they called the drug to be made routinely available for patients suffering from COVID-19. Okay? Indomethacin. Why not one fucking news agency, none, zero, has been talking about this is blowing my mind. Because they've known about it since 2006. Oh yeah, they want you to take a drug that's $3,500 that's never been used on anybody, and this is generic, and it's cheap. On the basis of the real-world experience, they called the drug to be made routinely available to patients suffering from COVID-19. Further weight has been added to discussion by Dr. Rajan, a consultant neurotherapist in Chennai, India. He points out that indomethacin has been used in the past to suppress this ketone release syndrome associated with the use of OKT3, anti-rejection treatment of renal transplantation. Given that ketone release is a feature of deteriorating COVID-19, he argues that early administration of indomethacin in patients with mild, moderate infection could prevent the hypoxia and probably hasten recovery of these patients. It has also reduced the viral load. Patients could become less contagious. An additional benefit of indomethacin would be its effect on coagulation and clotting and sepsis and shock, he says. One modeling study has suggested that 75 milligrams of indomethacin slow release twice a day, or some 50 milligram release indomethacin 3 times a day, given early in the course of the disease, would maximize the antiviral, anti-inflammatory effect. Okay, I take this twice a day. Twice. 50 milligrams. So apparently I got to up my dose. Given that indomethacin is an old, cheap drug with which there is a wealth of experience, it is hard to avoid the conclusion that a trial of indomethacin in mild, moderate COVID-19 is urgently needed. This could easily be accomplished at present. After all, there are many more patients with mild, moderate COVID than severe, with critical disease. If the duration and severity of the illness were indeed shortened, the economic benefits would be considerable. Economic benefits considerable, meaning you guys can get the fuck back to your lives. It is of the interest that a randomized controlled trial of oral indomethacin 75 milligrams with COVID pneumonia is now recruiting in Iran. It's so funny that all these other countries have been doing this, but America, for whatever reason, maybe big pharmacology, doesn't want that out there because it's a generic drug. It's cheap. The use of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory agents in COVID-19 was greatly hampered by early concerns that they could be harmful. However, this has now been comprehensively rebutted. The recent announcement of the deliberate trial in which 3 doses of liquid ibuprofen were given to hypoxic patients shows how far understanding has advanced here. If we have to learn to live with the virus as many have predicted, then it will be important to have treatments to hand that are inexpensive, non-toxic, and readily available to manage future outbreaks. Other healthcare systems around the world are waking up, oh God, to the possibility of repurposing indomethacin to mitigate the impact of mild, moderate COVID-19 by reducing severity and duration of the disease. A trial of indomethacin as moderate COVID-19 is now urgently needed in Europe. No, it's urgently needed all over the fucking planet. That was this one article. If you Google indomethacin coronavirus, it pops right up. That was Hospital Healthcare Europe. The very top one, which is published on pubmed.ncbi.nlm.nih.gov, which is Dr. Fauci's website, that was peer-reviewed, triple-blind study back in 2006. So when I shared my first video, I'm not lying. I was dying from the virus. If I didn't happen to have indomethacin at my house, you would not be talking to me. I would be dead. I was hours away from being dead. I shared the video. I didn't want to do it, but I did. If it wasn't for people reaching out to me, doctors and researchers, and telling me about this other wonder drug, Ivermectin, which I already showed you the video. But here, Ivermectin coronavirus. The FDA-approved drug, Ivermectin, inhibits the replication of SARS-CoV-2. What? Very science direct. Medscape. What is the role of the antiparasitic drug Ivermectin in the treatment of COVID-19? Ivermectin for COVID-19, worth a shot? Oh no, it's more than worth a shot. It fucking kept me here tonight. I'm sorry I'm so fired up. I'm not crazy. June 12, 2020, Ivermectin, a systemic review for antiviral effects for COVID-19. How come no one's talking about this, people? How come no one is talking about this? Ivermectin, let's see. ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. White paper on Ivermectin as potential therapy for COVID-19. Okay? Ivermectin, potential candidate for the treatment of COVID-19. Well-respected Australian research considers triple therapy. Ivermectin, a French company called Medicinecell, even announced it would work on commercializing an Ivermectin-based COVID-19 therapy. Okay? I'm going to keep reading these things tonight because if I'm not here in a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a year, you have all this. The Dan the Messenger Show will continue on, with or without me. The people that turned their backs on me in Fort Myers, shame on you. When this medication and treatments are known and talked about months from now, you're going to say, Jesus Christ, my friend Dan Rudy who used to own a place called Eddie Fish Bowls, who was one of the biggest promoters in Fort Myers, Florida, with a company called Cincinnati Entertainment, who worked for a pharmaceutical company called Gentech Pharmaceutical that knows a few things about drugs, that actually worked for a really cool solar company that was doing good things on the planet, that decided to stop his career because he could no longer work, because the brains and the drugs and everything has been just killing me, has been sharing at the top of his lungs for months, I mean months, and created a charity called Hope for Humanity 2020.org to help you dumbasses. Hopefully you're going to give me a little more respect and start caring and being sympathetic and join the cause. What can I do for you? Oh, I want to be a sponsor of the event in Fort Myers that's coming up. Oh, where is this tour going to happen? What's going to happen in a bunch of cities? But let's go back to Ivermectin. Well-respected Australian researchers considered triple therapy ivermectin, zinc, and doxycycline for COVID-19. Have you guys heard any of this shit on the news? No. I don't know why they're not talking about it. But all over the world they finally are. America, wake the fuck up. So Thomas Bordy, MB, BS, BSc, MD, PhD, FRACP, FAC, FACG, AGF, touts FDA and TGA approval ivermectin, which he reports to use regularly in his hospital as it evidences positive results for COVID-19, and should be used immediately to fight the pandemic. Pandemic, people. Google what it takes to become called a pandemic. The first developer of the world's first cure for peptic ulcers, which saves millions of lives worldwide, employed the same methodology to come up with the ivermectin triple therapy. With over 30 formal clinical trials, actually I got over 100, over 100 listed ones that I'll share on the website. Formal clinical trials, many dozens of observational real-world initiatives, and hundreds to possibly thousands of doctors, already using the medicine. A particular momentum gained speed for additional randomized controlled trials, and just as importantly, a more serious dialogue about the potential this approach for pragmatic, Google what pragmatic means, and economical treatment options for COVID-19. The real-world evidence trial site has been tracking the use of ivermectin since researchers at Australia's Monash University and Peter Doherty Institute found that in the lab cell culture that anti-parasitic absolutely destroyed the pathogen. Trial state found and interviewed doctors from Bangladesh and India to Dominican Republic, Peru, Colombia, Iraq, to the United States, where Broward County Health approved an ivermectin-based protocol with successful outcomes. A French company called Medicinecell announced its MEDINCELL even announced it would work on commercializing an ivermectin-based COVID-19 therapy. Search trial site for what are now many dozens of relevant real-world data points. Trial site acknowledges that not only the importance of, but the necessary of randomized controlled studies, hence why the continuous reporting of important studies such as University of Kentucky, Shiva Medical Center, KKR-backed Max Healthcare, Bangladesh Medical College, and many other centers around the world. Additionally, trial site is contributing to a significant clinical trial in the works in the United States, targeting up to 2,000 patients. Several hospitals seeking to participate. The drug manufacturer will donate the drug. And the high-profile clinical trial operations experts have been engaged. Trial site cautionary point, of course. It is not approved in the United States. No shit. Wonder why. Of course, trial site reminds all that despite the potential, this treatment is not approved in the United States, nor in most nations. And per the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, which is the biggest amount of horseshit, any such health therapy that is associated with the claim must go through formally designed and approved clinical trials unless its use can fit into an acceptable off-label scenario. Moreover, there is no cure for COVID-19. Keep telling you that. The only two drugs that are accepted by the FDA at this point are Remdesivir, which are for only emergency use and brand new kind of shit, and dexamethasone, as it was included in the NHA Clouds guideline. Now again, guys, I'm done with tonight. This is a big amount of information I've given you guys. But ivermectin, Indomethican, Azithromycin are the only reasons why you're still talking to me. Dr. Hume, Dr. Roselle, my doctors have kept me here. All the other doctors, Dr. Casasilla, who just told me to read a book to help with my memory, or told me when I told him how exhausted I was, that let me tell you something. I said, what is that? He goes, we're all exhausted. For about 10 minutes, I cussed him out. I almost wanted to beat his ass because he was not listening to his patient. And when they asked me, when Rick Vasky quit Advanced Solar and asked me to come back and not even knowing what was going on with my own medical self because my brain was so messed up, and I said, sure, I'll ask Dr. Casasilla if I can come back on restriction and still get medications and treatment to help. Well, the insurance company, which is this piece of shit company, American Interstate Insurance Company, all right, this biggest piece of shit company, they had Dr. Casasilla not only release me instead of light duty like I asked for because I was still suffering, but he released me completely, took me off all my medications without even caring, which I was on 3, and almost killed me again. But when I was in the hospital, they sent me a text saying, oh, I had an appointment, which I was in the hospital for having heart issues, thinking I was dying. They took me off, all right? They stopped paying me the $1,600 and something twice a month because Dr. Casasilla knowingly released me on purpose because of the Workman's comp system, and secondly, gave me a 0 impairment rating when I have all the medical documentation from a neuropsych evaluation from his own words and from Dr. Roselle, who treats NFL players for PTSD, TBI, and I was post-concussion syndrome. He gave me a 0 impairment reading. Now, they stopped paying me because we asked for a change of doctors, but because of the coronavirus, oh, you couldn't get into court until October. So now the insurance company's not paying me, and they're trying to play games and send me to another bullshit doctor. I'm getting treatments twice a week. Advanced Solar hasn't paid me the money they owed me. And the insurance company, which is Amerisafe Interstate Insurance Company, which was part of 360 Co-Advantage 360, which was our PPE provider, they dropped me. So I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to go to the government. I'm going to go to the state government. I'm going to keep spreading this word until this company's buried. Because the way they treat people, the way the Workman's comp system is beyond ridiculous. When I had, I show you all my documentation. When I broke my tibial plateau, which is one of your strongest bones in your body, was shattered. I got plates. I had to learn how to walk and talk again. On top of that, they gave me the coronavirus. A bonus package while I was at Lakewood Ranch Medical Center. We're going to find out more about you too. And when I get the right lawyers on, when John Herbert Jr. steps up and does what he needs to do, and when Shaq's people step up, gets game over. Chris Cuomo, anytime you want me on to talk about Indomethican, anytime you want to have me on to talk about Ivermectin, any other news organization that wants to have me on, if it's a hit piece, come at me. Because I have all the medical documentation. When the podcast is out, and all the doctors are coming on and talking about the patients they're treating, and the Dan the Messenger show is worldwide, and we go to LA to see Shelby and see her billboards and talk with COVID X Now and on some major stations, we're going to be raising hell. And believe me, everybody that stepped up to the side and walked away and didn't do the right things, I don't hold any ill against you. When it's my old solar company, Advanced Solar, that owes me $6,700 that hasn't paid me for commissions that are due, we have a problem. When it's the insurance company that has literally tried to starve me to death because they're playing games with me and offering me $15,000 to settle because they just want me out of the system, it's going to the judge, it's going to a trial, and I will clean your clock because you guys deserve it, okay? Pain and suffering is not included in workman's comp. That's why they play these games. But when my doctors who actually are really, really good step up and say, hey, the reason why Amerisafe doesn't want us to continue on is because they wanted you out of the system, because that's how workman's comp works, and you are still sick and you've been getting treatments for the last 4 months, well, then we're going to have some problems, because the judge is going to see what real doctors can do and how broken the workman's comp system is. The Berlin law firm, you better step the fuck up and start doing your job too. Otherwise, I'm dropping you. Like tomorrow. I'm tired of all of this. You mess with the wrong person. This drug, this virus, everything that's about what's going on is getting out. And my buddy Marcus said, oh, you're putting the red dot on you. No, I've been dead. I was killed in the accident. I was gone for 4 or 5 seconds. When I came back, those 4 or 5 seconds were the most peace I ever had in my life. I have no fear of dying. I'm only caring about one person. My family and my daughter. Mackenzie, your father stood up. Your father shared as much as he possibly can share. And if I get a breath tomorrow and I wake up tomorrow, I'm going to keep fighting. And for the insurance company that's not paying me the money they deserve, that I deserve because I was injured in an accident while I was working, and I've been trying to recover ever since, Amerisafe, you guys should burn in hell. How you treat people in the workman's comp system in Florida is ridiculous. I mean, all of this is ridiculous. So if you guys want to have fun, if you're a long hauler and you care about me and you care about the word that keeps spreading, I want you guys to start flooding this. I want you guys to start flooding this company and say, start paying Dan. Pay him the money you owe him back. I deserve this money. I was injured while I was working. Advanced Solar, you owe me $6,700. That's commissions. You pay me my commissions, or we'll go to court. I'm over the games. The Dan the Messenger show will be worldwide, and I promise you, I will bury your companies with long haulers, with people who would do business with you, people in your local areas that I was doing so much work for. It's not personal to me. You guys made it personal. You guys didn't come and visit me in the hospital. You guys didn't even care to check on me, and I was working for your company. I died in an accident, and I came back, and I was in the hospital for 3 weeks. Rick Vasky, who didn't even come and visit me, but actually came up there once to try to steal a deal, you're a piece of shit. I don't care. My friends that are supporting him, great. But when you work for a company and one of your employees is severely injured and you don't even come to visit while he's in there for 3 weeks, you're a piece of shit. You know you're a piece of shit. The only persons that visited me in the hospital was Stephen Dukes, Kevin Morris, and 2 employees. And while I was in the hospital, I got the good old coronavirus. Lucky me. So if I haven't done enough tonight to make this get out there, don't worry. The Dan the Messenger podcast will be out next week. The website, hope4humanity2020.com. All this information will be up within 24 hours. All the medical information. Doctors, Melanie Kopko, you can reach out to her. She'll be more than glad to help book stuff. Media, Melanie Kopko. Anybody who wants to donate or be a donor for the show, reach out to Melanie Kopko or myself. It's a charity. It's a tax write-off, for fuck's sakes. Soul of Life will be there on Friday because it's a healing center. It's been helping my lungs. Tony Tao from Cold Laser Therapy RX. Cold laser therapy works for long haulers. It'll help take away your pain. I want to get back to solar. I want to get back to my life. I want to see my daughter. I want to see my oldest niece when she has her son. I want to see my family. I want my life back too. That's all I got to say for tonight. God bless you guys. Hopefully I'll be here tomorrow and I'll keep talking. Because as this keeps coming back and these colleges are having their coronavirus outbreaks, it's not because they're new, it's because they've had it and they're just getting the waves. It's a virus, it's a pandemic, it's real. Best offense is a good defense. Take your vitamins, D3, zinc, Stay healthy, eat healthy, take care of your people. Good night.